first book of Moses, called Genesis, chapter 7. And the Lord said unto Noah, Come thou and all thy house into the ark, for thee have I seen righteous before me. In this generation, of every clean beast thou shalt take to thee by sevens, the male and his female, and of beasts that are not clean by two, the male and his female. Of fowls also of the air by sevens, the male and the female, to keep seed alive upon the face of all the earth. For yet 7 days, and I will cause it to rain upon the earth. 40 days and 40 nights, and every living substance that I have made will I destroy from off the face of the earth. And Noah did according unto all that the Lord commanded him. And Noah was 600 years old when the flood of waters was upon the earth. And Noah went in, and his sons and his wife, and his sons' wives with him into the ark, because of the waters of the flood, and of clean beasts, and of beasts that are not clean, and of fowls, and of everything that creepeth upon the earth. There went in 2 and 2 unto Noah into the ark, the male and the female, as God had commanded Noah. And it came to pass after 7 days that the waters of the flood were upon the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, the 7th day of the month, the same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken. And the windows of heaven were opened. And the rain was upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. In the selfsame day entered Noah and Shem and Ham and Japheth, the sons of Noah, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of his sons with them, into the ark, they and every beast after his kind, and all the cattle after their kind, and every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth after his kind, and every fowl after his kind, every bird of every sort. And they went in unto Noah into the ark 2 and 2 of all flesh, wherein is the breath of life. And they that went in, male and female, of all flesh, as God commanded him. And the Lord shut him in. And the flood was 40 days upon the earth. And the waters increased, and bare up the ark, and it was lift up above the earth. And the waters prevailed, and were increased greatly upon the earth. And the ark went upon the face of the waters. And the waters prevailed exceedingly upon the earth, and all the high hills that were under the whole heaven were covered. "15 cubits upward did the waters prevail, and the mountains were covered, and all flesh died that moved upon the earth, both fowl and of cattle, and of beast, and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, and every man, all in whose nostrils was the breath of life, of all that was in the dry land died." The first book and Moses, every living called substance was destroyed. Chapter 8, which was upon the face God remembered of the ground, both Noah, man and cattle, every living thing, the creeping things, all the cattle, and the fowl of the heaven, in the ark. And God made a wind to pass over from the earth, and Noah the waters assuaged alive, the fountains also, they that were with him of the deep in the ark, the windows of heaven, the waters were prevailed upon the rain 150 days was restrained. And the waters returned from off the earth continually. And after the end of the 150 days, the waters were abated, and the ark rested in the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, upon the mountains of Ararat. And the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the first day of the month, were the tops of the mountains seen. And it came to pass that at the end of 40 days, that Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made, and he set forth a raven, which went forth to and fro until the waters were dried up from off the earth. And he sent forth a dove from him to see if the waters were abated from off the face of the ground. And the dove found no rest for the sole of her foot, and she returned unto him into the ark, for the waters were on the face of the whole earth. Then he put forth his hand and took her, and pulled her in unto him into the ark. And he stayed yet the other 7 days, and again he sent forth the dove out of the ark. And the dove came in to him in the evening, and lo, in her mouth was an olive leaf plucked off. So Noah knew that the waters were abated from off the earth. And he stayed yet other 7 days, and sent forth the dove, which returned not again unto him any more. And it came to pass in the 601st year, in the first month of the first day of the month, the waters were dried up from off the earth, and Noah removed the covering of the ark, and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry. And in the 2nd month of the 27th day of the month was the earth dried. And God spake unto Noah, saying, Go forth of the ark, thou and thy wife, and thy sons wives with thee. Bring forth with thee every living thing that is with thee, of all flesh, both of fowl and of cattle, and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, that they may breed abundantly in the earth, and be fruitful, and multiply upon the earth. And Noah went forth, and his sons, and his wife, and his sons' wives with him, every beast, every creeping thing, and every fowl, and whatsoever creepeth upon the earth, after their kinds, went forth out of the ark. And Noah builded an altar unto the Lord, and took of every clean beast, and of every clean fowl, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. And the Lord smelled a sweet savor. And the Lord said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake, for the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I again smite any more every thing living, as I have done, while the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. Called Genesis chapter 9. And God blessed Noah and his sons, and said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth. And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, and upon every fowl of the air, upon all that moveth upon the earth, and upon all the fishes of the sea. Into your hand are they delivered. Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you, even as the green herb have I given you all things, but flesh with life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall ye not eat. And surely your blood of your lives will I require. At the hand of every beast will I require it. And at the hand of man, and at the hand of every man's brother will I require the life of man. Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of God made he man. And you, be ye fruitful and multiply, bring forth abundantly in the earth, and multiply therein, God spake unto Noah and to his sons with him, saying, And behold, I establish my covenant with you, and with your seed after you, and with every living creature that is with you, of the fowl, of the cattle, and of every beast of the earth with you, from all that go out of the ark, to every beast of the earth. And I will establish my covenant with you, neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of a flood, neither shall there any more be a flood to destroy the earth. God said, This is the token of the covenant which I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you for perpetual generations. I do set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be for a token of a covenant between me and the earth. And it shall come to pass, when I bring a cloud over the earth, that the bow shall be seen in the cloud, and I will remember my covenant, which is between me and you. And every living creature of all flesh, and the waters shall no more become a flood to destroy all flesh. And the bow shall be in the cloud, and I will look upon it, that I may remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that is upon the earth. And God said unto Noah, This is the token of the covenant which I have established between me and all flesh that is upon the earth. And the sons of Noah that went forth of the ark were Shem and Ham and Japheth. And Ham is the father of Canaan. These are the three sons of Noah, and of them was the whole earth overspread. And Noah began to be an husbandman, and he planted a vineyard, and he drank of the wine, and was drunken, and he was uncovered with his tent, within his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father, and told his two brethren without. And Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it upon both their shoulders, and went backward, and covered the nakedness of their father, and their faces were backward, and they saw not their father's nakedness. And their faces were backward, and they saw not their father's nakedness. And Noah awoke from his wine, and knew what his younger son had done unto him. And he said, Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren. And he said, Blessed be the Lord God of Shem. And Canaan shall be his servant. God shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. Noah lived after the flood 350 years, and all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. So that's the end of chapter 9. And so what do we have? From Eve all the way down to Cain, and then the earth became more wicked and wicked and wicked, to where there's only one that was found righteous in the sight of God, which is Noah. All flesh is destroyed in the flood. Then we're starting over with Noah and his sons and his sons' wives. And as soon as this happens, then we have Ham, the episode with Ham, but the cause of it was because Noah got drunk. What's he doing getting drunk? A lot of people say, the New Testament says, Paul and so forth, that to drink a little wine because of your illness and all this kind of stuff. You drink wine, this is what happens. You get drunk, this is what happens. So the whole thing, wickedness, gets started again because of wine, because of getting drunk. Drinking is the beginning of the restarting of sin. So sin came and wickedness entered because of the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil with Eve and the serpent. That's how it started. But then it starts again here because Noah got drunk. That's the reason he got drunk. I mean, wickedness came because he got drunk. And I've never heard a preacher preach about that. They talk about, Canaan, and blah, 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 and Ham and so forth. And he became the first of this and the first of that. It's because he got drunk. So if you get drunk, you invite all kinds of sin in your life. As a matter of fact, all kinds of destruction. And you're already on the path of destruction because the getting drunk is is kind of like one of the last evidences that you're already making the worst decisions of your life. And all this drinking wine is how people fall in love nowadays, is to wine and dine their women. I was telling this to my wife last night. Name one woman in the Bible that fell in love and got married and lived happily ever after. You can't. There's not one woman where that happens. And we were chatting about how, you have the Song of Songs of Solomon. There's a lot of romance in that book, and so there is romance in the Bible. So remember, my question is that name one woman that falls in love and they build a good family, lives happily ever after, etc. And so they want to quote Solomon, Song of Songs. Which woman would want to be one of 1,000 with Solomon? So they're saying that a woman would want to be married to somebody that has another 999 wives and concubines. And they talk about Solomon as an example of a husband, like as a model husband. So I don't know why they point to Song of Songs. Solomon was a terrible husband. I don't wish a husband for my daughters like King Solomon. I don't care how kingly he is. And I don't wish that my boy, my son, would do anything remotely like Solomon did. I don't wish that for him. Terrible husband, having all kinds of women. Not only that, but he's the one that divided the kingdom. After King Solomon, the kingdom was divided. He set up the Asherah poles. He allowed prostitution of the wickedest kind throughout the land. Married and united with Egypt. King Solomon was not a model monarch, and he was not a model husband. He was not a model father. You know, it's kind of silly. But in this infatuation that we have with wine is what causes so many wickedness to come into our lives that we can't reverse. And one thing that I say all the time is like, the Lord can forgive you for anything that you did. You can go to heaven, anything, absolutely. Repent, turn away from your wicked ways, trust alone in Jesus. Even if you've been like Hitler, there is salvation for Hitler if he truly repents. There is. But that is God that forgives you. But the damage done to your family and to people around you can never be reversed. It just can't. So think of Solomon having kids with all of his wives. How can that be put back together? Those children will go on forever. You think of Abraham having a child with some Egyptian. Now we have a whole generation of people that came from Ishmael. You can't reverse it, and it has effects for generations. And what happened here with Noah and Ham, it has effects through the generations. Canaan, the Canaanites, were the ones that were introducing the false gods to the children of Israel when they came in. They were the Canaanites, the ones sacrificing their children to Moloch. It was the Canaanites. The Philistines came from the Canaanites. Esau lost his birthright. And God says, Jacob I loved, but Esau I hated. And Esau loved Canaanite women. Canaanite women were prostitutes, whores. Women with multiple husbands. And I don't mean multiple husbands at a time. I'm saying like they go with this man and this man and this man, and they're in love with the idea of the new. As soon as something is not new, they move on to something else. As soon as a man is not new to them anymore, they move on to something else because they like the beginnings. That's what they call falling in love, is the newness of a new person. And they go from this person to another person to another person. That's the Canaanites. And that's what we have for our women in the West now. They're Canaanite women. They're posting all over social media. They're getting men to like their posts and all this kind of stuff. And then the men don't, if you go and ask, and I've studied this multiple times in its instruction, you know, if you go and ask women, the big question is, you know, women want to know what men like in women, and men want to know what women like. right? And so they're always wondering out there, okay, I wonder what women like. And then women are like, I wonder what men want. And no one can answer that question. And the reason they cannot answer that question is because they don't know. They don't know what they want. And that's the point. No one knows what they want, and they're all confused because they have eyes full of adultery, and they cannot see. They don't have eyes to see, or yet having eyes, they cannot see. So, because I'm instructing my boy, he's getting of age to start, thinking about girls and things. Here's the instruction. What men like in women, and hopefully somebody listens to this in the future. This is the only advice you need. What men like in women, what is attractive to a man in a woman, is one word: purity. Purity, holiness, godliness. That is what is attractive to a man. And the men right now that are saying, no, that's not true because men like this and men like that. Nope. The flesh likes that. The flesh likes a woman built a certain way physically. The flesh likes a woman that has eyes full of adultery. But a godly man, a man that wants a family, a man that trusts the Lord, a man that has truly repented, what is attractive to him is purity. Purity. If a woman is not pure, aka she's not a Canaanite, then she is unattractive. She's disgusting if a woman is not pure. Now, there are Canaanite women that come to the Lord and they get saved and then they go and live for the Lord. You can be forgiven of anything, no problem at all. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to marry her and have her be the mother of my children. I'm sorry. I cannot. Okay? So, a good wife, for my son, for example, has to be pure from the very beginning. Purity. That's what a man likes. That's what a man wants, is purity. And I can prove it to you. If you go to strangers, go interview strangers in the street, and simply ask a question. And I'm talking men. Ask them, hey, can men and women be friends? Almost 100% of all the men will tell you absolutely not. And you can research this go on YouTube, go on TikTok or something and research, just type the question, can men and women be friends? And you will see all the guys saying, absolutely, you cannot have friends that are the opposite sex. It doesn't work. So that proves that guys intuitively know how wicked guys are, and the only reason guys want to be friends with a girl is because they're trying to be impure. But girls, they're like, oh, I have my friend, this and that or whatever. They don't know that this is the way guys are. And lo and behold, they have a friend, and all of a sudden they become impure because of a friendship. So purity means you don't have guy friends. Purity means that you've kept yourself as a woman specifically for one man. And you had dreams of becoming a wife, a mother, and a keeper of the home. What do men want? Purity. What do women want? Who cares? Who cares? Because the man is the leader. But a woman should at least be sensible enough to know that her job and her role is to be a mother. If she wants a career, you run away the other way. Women with careers are the worst. Why? Because they'll go to school from early on. They'll have guy friends. And then they'll see the world as a equal world where they can go have friends and do whatever. And then before you know it, they're getting drunk and they're having a good time. And they're like, I'm just a young girl and I've made mistakes. Well, you're just a young, foolish girl who made mistakes, who is not pure. So therefore, you will never, women that are like that, that's what I call Canaanite women, because they don't have the right view of the world. And therefore, they will never, ever, ever find a husband that is worth anything. They'll have issues. Because men who are good husbands, godly, they look for one thing and one thing only: purity. Purity. That's what men want. Purity. And they will only talk to girls or approach a woman to marry them who is pure. A guy like that will never approach a woman who has all these friends. If he sees a woman that has all these guy friends, he will not even look her way. So therefore, women don't know about those men, because men like that don't talk to girls like that. They just don't. So it is extremely important, and is the foundation of what we build, because you and I were called to be a Noah in our generation, full of wickedness. We're called to, everything is falling apart around us because we pushed God aside, and every aspect of society has already fallen apart. There's nothing that is not affected by wickedness, by corruption, by people that want to profit themselves, by evil. Okay, so that is the biggest thing, and you can see this from the whole account of Genesis. The first 10 chapters is all about this. It's all about our fallen nature, how dumb we are. We all did this. We are the ones. It wasn't Ham. It wasn't Eve. It wasn't Cain. It was us. That's us. Cain is us. Ham is us. Eve is us. We are a fallen generation. But let's go back to chapter 7 real quick, because there was something that I noticed that I had never noticed before. Verse 1, for thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation. That's God talking to Noah. And of every clean beast thou shalt take to thee by sevens, male and female, and his female. So the clean animals, purity, right? Purity of the clean, Noah was told to take by sevens the male in his female. And of beasts that are not clean by two, the male in his females. Of the fowls of the air by sevens. So, and then, because I was reading it earlier this morning at like 5 or something, I was listening to it on my Audible, and I didn't notice that at the very beginning of the chapter. That's why I read it, because you get so much more rather than just listening. I read when Noah came out of the ark and he starts sacrificing. I'm like, what are you doing? You are killing, because if they come by twos, if he sacrifices out of one animal, then you don't have either the male or female, and then you can't reproduce. That's what I thought. And I'm like, there's something off here. So you go to chapter 8, Verse 20, and Noah builded an altar unto the Lord, and took of every clean and every clean beast, and of every clean fowl, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. Because they're by sevens. He doesn't just have one pair and then one gets sacrificed and then you can't reproduce anymore. This is out of the sevens, the clean animals, the clean beasts. And verse 21, and the Lord smelled the sweet savor, and the Lord said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake, for the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth, neither will I smite any more every living thing as I have done. So purity is what the Lord wants. And if a woman is smart, a woman will also look for purity in a man. You can't have a good marriage without purity from the very beginning, out of the clean beasts. Clean. The clean is, if you're pure, the Lord can build something in your family. If you're unclean, you're stopping the blessing of the Lord. You can always be saved. I'm not talking about salvation. I'm talking about building your family. You can't build it on purity. You have to build it upon purity. But you can go and be pure from this point forward. Just know the mistakes that you made in the past, you still have to deal with them. But keep living in purity so you don't create any new problems. Because that's what life is. Each day has its own evil that we have to deal with. So let's not create even more evil by living unclean and unpure lives. We're called to purity. You live it, your children will live it. And the easiest way to do that is to repent, turn away from our wicked ways, and trust alone in Christ. We'll see you tomorrow.